He has been an NFL scout, an NBA executive, an in-game analyst, and a sports talk radio host. But above all else, Barry Warner is a storyteller. Barry calls President George W. Bush a friend, not to mention one of the greatest pitchers of all time in Nolan Ryan. The photographs on his wall are like a who's who of Texas. And now he has finally put his best stories in a just-released book. It's now story time with Barry Warner from his 40-plus years in radio. Off the top of my bald head. What a title. What would the little boy back in Buffalo think of this wild ride that you've been on throughout this incredible career?
I can't even imagine, because times were different, and I've seen, first of all, the good Lord gave me the opportunity at age 8 to focus on what I wanted to do when I grew up.
You've been doing this for so long,
right?
And sports talk radio has this nature of being combative,
right?
When you look back, are there any situations that you think, I went a little too far on that, or I wish I had said something differently, or didn't get into an argument or a fight with this particular person?
Yes, absolutely. I would, unlike a lot of people, and you can see one right here, would air check every show. And I would go back and listen to it after I did it. And I would wince many times, Jason, when I heard it. You didn't have to be that bad. And when there were stupid callers, I would just hang up the phone and just give them a dial tone. The microphone is nothing more than a telephone that I'm having a conversation with the thousands hopefully are listening to.
And not many people have a picture of Alan Shepard on their wall in tuxedos at a wedding.
My wedding.
Your wedding.
He was my best man. I've always maintained that, with all due respect to the 2017 Astros and other teams, that the greatest team we have ever had since I've been here in 1966 is NASA. Considering what the feat they did on parts that were all submitted by the lowest bidder.
One guy in the book is just different from all the rest. That is Ali. How would you characterize your relationship with Muhammad Ali?
Privileged and pristine.
Why do you think he trusted you?
First, because of KHOU, and second at all, he had an affinity for Jews. And I asked him about it once. I said, "Champ, why?" He said, "Because you people suffered just like we did."
So the book is Off the Top of My Bald Head, and you've made it easy because it's offthetopofmybaldhead.com.
Correct. It probably, Jason, took me 6 months longer to write this book. For one reason, I would stop as I was writing something and reminisce about that point in time.
Did you get emotional at all?
Oh yeah, no, it was a great cathartic experience as to who, what, why, when, and where in Barry's life. Mistakes that I made. You know, as Yogi said, take a fork in the road, and I took the spoon. So, there are a lot of things that gave me great emotion. One of them is a chapter called Coaches with Balls. It was a coach about 3 great men no longer with us. Coach Bill Yeoman, Coach Guy V. Lewis, and my friend, the late Hayden Fry. And I wrote that story deeply from here because I was a liberal, democratic kid who got arrested for civil rights marching and got arrested for the Vietnam War protesting. And I saw, as I scouted, lily white football teams. And those three aforementioned gentlemen all recruited the black athlete. Not to score touchdowns or win basketball games, but to give them an opportunity to get an education. That was first and foremost. And I wrote and rewrote and wrote and rewrote that chapter a dozen times because I wanted it to totally, be what my words were, what my thoughts were.
Once again, here is the book with a foreword by Jim Nantz of CBS Sports. Our complete interview with Barry, almost an hour long, is on YouTube. Just search Barry Warner and new book.